Hi everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Books to Give with Katie. Every day this week, I'm giving suggestions of books to give to readers of all ages, starting with birth and ending with adults. And today we're going to be talking about teens. If you've missed any of the other editions, you can check out the library Facebook page as well as YouTube and Instagram for those videos. I'll be sharing links in the comments, whether they're above or below. As well as yesterday, I did an exciting edition of Books Live with Katie where I went over a ton of titles that you could give as well as tips for picking out the best book for the readers in your life. So today we are talking about teenagers. I love giving books to teens. I buy and order the books for YA for the library. Young adult is the fancy way of saying teen, and it covers the age group of about 12 to 18. But teen is such a weird age range because you are going to have those at especially the younger end, readers that are really more comfortable staying with junior fiction or kids fiction, which is what I talked about on Tuesday. So if you have an 11 or 12-year-old who might not be ready for teen books, you're welcome to watch that video, as well as you're going to have some 16 to 18-year-olds who are just done with young adult and are ready to read adult books, and that's fine too. As with all of these, the most important thing is finding the right book for the readers in your life. And I would encourage you to really think about who you're giving the book to. So even though today's books are all published for those readers about ages 12 to 18, you might see some stuff that might be better for a younger reader and you might think might be better for an adult even. So we're going to focus on books for teens, and I'm going to start with my first author now. I think every year we get that one author that's kind of like you can't miss with. In the past, it's been people like John Green, Stephanie Meyer, let's see who else, Angie Thomas in the past couple years. But this year, I think 2020, it's the year of Karen McManus. If you're not familiar with her books, that's fine. She writes young adult thrillers, whodunits, mysteries, that kind of suspense. I don't want to say like Woman in the Window, Girl on a Train for teens, but that's probably the best thing to compare it to. She has a new book that came out this week called The Cousins, which is about three cousins who are forced to work for a mysterious older relative, and then they kind of uncover family secrets. Clearly I haven't read it because it just came out, or it comes out tomorrow. And then she has three other books. One of Us is Lying, One of Us is Next, and Two Can Keep a Secret. So these are books where you could buy any of them and probably be a hit with your teen. I think they skew a little bit older. I'm not going to lie, I haven't read them. So they might not be the best pick for an 11 or 12-year-old, but you know your 11 or 12-year-old the best. And I think it just as a whole, Karen McManus is the can't miss author for Christmas 2020 for teens. Always look for newer books for teens. I will say this probably until I'm blue in the face, because what gets published for teens changes so fast. What they read changes so fast. And while there are some classics that go on for years, really, you want to look for the newer books. Everything I'm talking about should have been published in the last 2 to 3 years, with 2 exceptions. When pop culture pulls these books and makes them into TV shows, that's when you want to pull them again. The first one is Netflix's Dash and Lily series, which is based on a series of books by David Levithan and Rachel Cohen. Again, I don't have it because they're so popular. There are 3 books in this series, and they're kind of cute, romantic books in 2 voices about Dash and Lily and what they do in the holiday season. I think they're all holiday season based. It's been a while since I've read the first one. To bring a throwback title in, my personal favorite by these authors was Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Definitely for older teens. I think these ones are a little bit more younger teen friendly. But it is a Netflix series, so you might as well get it for your teen who is interested in that Netflix series. The next one is based on an Amazon series, and I'm not going to lie, I would have recommended this for teens regardless. It's a book I recommend to this day, and I started reading it when I was a librarian. First off, a librarian so many years ago. It's the Alex Rider series by Anthony Horowitz. Of course, the first book is checked out, but to kind of give you an idea, this is what the series looks like. The first book is called Stormbreaker. These are like junior James Bond books. It's about a young man who gets sent on these crazy missions. It's action-packed, suspense, fast-paced. These are actually great for the younger end of teen. In fact, there's probably a lot of kids in the upper end of the grade school kids that would even enjoy these. They're just fast-paced, fun books. Again, there's an Amazon series based on the character, so it would be definitely a hit for those fans of spies, espionage, and mystery. So Alex Rider, the first book is Stormbreaker. There are 13 books in the series, so if you're looking to start someone out on a series, this is a great series to start with. I love nonfiction books, and teens is the first area where I'm really going to focus on nonfiction as books to give, because there are so many amazing nonfiction books for teens that come out, and especially in the past couple years. One of the book series I'm most excited about is it's called the Pocket Change Collective by Penguin Teen. I want to say there's 7 or 8 books in this series. They're all on current issues written by people who are advocating for change in those areas or really involved in them. The 2 I pulled off the shelf are Taking on the Plastics Crisis and The New Queer Conscious. They're both written by activists involved in environmental and LGBTQ issues, and they kind of tell their stories or about the issue. And what's great about these is they're short. I think they're each about 60 pages. They're small. They can get thrown in a backpack, and they're paperback. I think sometimes especially when you think about publishing in the past couple years for teens, we've been going for those bigger, longer, heavier books. These are small. You can throw in a backpack or a purse and have on you. And I think they really touch on a lot of issues that teens are interested in. And there's more than this. There's one on art, there's one on poetry, and of course, those are checked out. So if you have a teen that is interested in social justice issues, I highly recommend this Pocket Change Collective by Penguin Teen. It would be a great gift to give to a teen interested in social justice. The next area in nonfiction that I think is great for teens is writing guides. And the absolute best one, in my opinion, is Allie Carter's Dear Allie, How Do You Write a Book? What is great about this book is Allie Carter is a young adult published author. She's written a couple of series. I believe the one started with I'd Tell You I'd Love You, but I'd Have to Kill You. So she is a published young adult author, and she takes letters teens wrote her about how to get published and wrote a book. And it really sets out how to write a book for teens, from developing habits to how to start, how to seek out getting published. It's a really good book to read. And she's gone to her friends for advice. So she asks authors like Holly Black, Cassandra Clare for tips to pass on to readers. So if you have a teen writer in your life, highly recommend Dear Allie, How Do You Write a Book? There are tons of writing guides for teens out there, but if you're looking for one that's written for them with actual questions from actual teens, this is the one I highly recommend for the teen writer in your life. Another area which I think just teens will love, just based on what's being published and what's checked out for them, is graphic novels in nonfiction subjects. The one I am actually going to check out after I finish this video is the book Redbone. It is a graphic novel on the history of the band Redbone, which I did not even know was the first Native American rock and roll band, or they considered themselves that. Now you might say, wait a minute, Katie, aren't they a band from like the 60s and 70s? Why do you think teens are going to like this? Well, one, the song Come and Get Your Love was featured heavily in a couple of the Marvel movies, which are still very popular. So teens are going to remember that. And also, it is just kind of a fun subject. I remember being a teenager and being obsessed with classic rock, and I'm sure there's a few of those music fans out there. Also, there are those kids that just like history. So if you're looking for a fun way to share history, graphic novels is a great way to go. And this is one that just came out that I am honestly going to check out today and take home and read. So if you have a history buff or music buff in your life that's a teen, this is the book I'd recommend. One of the trends that I know I picked up on in late 2019, early 2020, and I know it has not subsided, is Kpop. I know nothing about Kpop, but there are so many books that are being written by people who are fans of Kpop or actually the performers themselves. And here is one. It's called Shine by Jessica Jung, who was a member of the group Girls' Generation. So if you have a Kpop fan in your life, and you probably know it because they probably are telling you or posting about it on social media, I recommend this. This is called Shine. There are other ones too. This is just the one I saw on the shelf. So there's a ton of books about K-pop written, as well as fiction written about K-pop fans, and this one is actually written by a former member of one of the girl groups. So there's kind of a hot tip. If you're looking for trends, K-pop, there's tons of books. And if you want more, I can tell you more. but this one's Shine. Finally, I have two kind of favorite authors that I'm going to recommend newish books. I think these both came out this summer, so they're not brand new, but they're new in the sense that they were written in 2020. First up is Julie Murphy, who wrote Dumplin', which was one of my favorite books of a couple years ago, and again, Netflix movie based on it, starring Jennifer Aniston, featuring the music of Dolly Parton. So again, that book hit a lot of generational must-haves, but her newest book is called Faith Taking Flight, about a plus-size superhero. This hits a lot of my reading interests, superheroes, plus-size heroines, kind of unconventional origin stories. So this would be a fun book to give to a teen. Another favorite author of mine is Shannon Hale. I talked about her a little bit during my kids one because she writes the Princess in Black series, but her YA novel is called Kind of a Big Deal, about a kind of failed theater star. Again, I haven't read it yet, but she's a popular author, and this is one where if you gave it to someone involved in theater, it would probably be a really good read. Okay, that's it for my books for teens today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you got some suggestions of a book for a teen in your life. And again, there are tons of books published for teens, so if you don't see one here, there's tons of great books out there. Again, my biggest thing is look for newer books. Look for books by McManus, and look for books that meet the interests of the teen in your life. If you're looking for books for other age groups, I do have one for readers ages birth through 5, ages about 6 through 11, and then today is for teens and tomorrow is for adults. There should be also a post of my books live where I recommend books for readers of adult age, but again, for teens, it should hopefully have some. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you at the library. Bye!